on, just to finish what I was saying. I'm exhausted with the things that have been happening to my health. I'm never exhausted to do class. I don't blame anybody else. It's all been my responsibility and my drama, my drama, yeah. Andromeda, I'm around my mom. My mom's here a lot, and she kind of worries and panics, and I can feel her. And then I end up panicking myself and acting out myself. Is that true? That because she's my mom, I pick up things from her. The thing about it, if I don't panic, if I'm fine and I'm just doing what I'm doing and I'm just going through, feeling, the vibrations of the drama. I'm not saying that word anymore. The drama, the remnants of the drama that come out through, well, it's kind of deep inside for me. And do I need to stay away from my mom? Do I need to not be around my mom? Because it's like a vicious cycle where she's around me and then I can't act. Or am I just blaming her, that I'm picking up on her energy? And I don't know. I'm asking for your advice, what you think. Because my mom and me are, because she's my mom and we're close like that, I don't know. Because I'm not in a great mood every day. I'm in a bit of a disturbed mood. I'm just not trying. I'm learning to adapt to this new situation where I have to take some more medication, which is disturbing for me. And I get in this mood and it just kind of comes out on my mother. Because sometimes I'm just inside because she's my mom. I feel like she's going to make me better because she's my mom. And maintain your focus and balance with Krishna is the only way. It's just her being around. You're back. It's just being around her. I think I've always tried to be really strong for my, not think. I've tried to be really strong for my mom to help her by doing everything myself. And I'm still trying to do that. But I can't do it. I can't do everything myself. Chant instead of using harsh words. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. There you go. Is it not? It's not ended. I really want to do these things, chant and breathe and take a step back or just leave the room. But Andromeda, the energy just gets so big. I get dictated by that energy. I have to remind us. Speak the holy names. Speak the holy names when you feel a pulling into the trauma. Just keep speaking the holy names. I know. It gets, because it's happening a lot, it makes you feel like you're like that person that keeps appearing, the ego that keeps getting dictated and is acting out instead of being responsive and proactive with doing what you say. And yeah, that is what I want, to be able to speak the holy names and to be in that environment. Yeah, that's what I need. So yeah, without all of this, without being here with you guys, without listening, even sometimes I'm not able to at the moment, all of these troubles, they would one day would never come out. And now that they are, we are able to deal with them because of us either transcending them or drowning them out, being extinguished, constantly being extinguished. Andromeda, only you can control your tongue with complete surrender to Krishna. My confusion is, I feel like I'm surrendering to these people at the hospital, these doctors at the hospital, and what they want me to do. And I don't, two things, I don't want to surrender to these people. Sometimes I find it hard to trust their knowledge. Yeah. You say to me, you can only control your tongue with complete surrender. And this is what this is all about, Sim. All of this drama and stuff is complete surrender, because Andromeda is completely right. Complete surrender of Krishna. We can control the tongue. We can. I've experienced it before. You go through as well. Yeah. I wish you the best. Sim is saying, I had for many years pain of losing a person who I still love. I asked Krishna to take that pain away. And since that moment, I never felt that anymore. I don't know what it is, Sim. I asked Jesus to heal me. I asked Krishna to take this pain away, or not even take it away if it's not going to go, to transcend it. Because I have pains, you get used to them, don't you? I wish, yeah. So I ask him to take them away again. Don't you want to get back to Androm? Don't you want to get back to just walking one's path? And I know that we're training into surrender, into complete surrender for Krishna by going through these purifications. I don't think I've done a good job, actually, but I will. I'm going to carry on saying those things. So Andromeda is saying, just speak the holy names as much as possible, even under your breath. Okay. If you're around others that is too disturbing for them, yeah. Yes, this place of peace beyond all understanding. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Happy go on here as well. They don't really say much. One person said something to me. They said they like my voice. Hi, when did you usually start broadcasting? Okay, let's follow some people. People like this. I'm just going to follow this devotee. I'm calling a devotee. Everybody's a devotee, aren't they? Without them realizing. So when you use these things, you have to build up an audience. Come and support. Okay. So I'm going to follow 3 people today. So I've been chanting a lot today in this time. You're actually, hey Mahesh, Hare Krishna, how have you been? We are always on the path. Chanting has been a place of shelter. So yes, you're right. So me saying, replying to Andromeda, if you disturb people with chanting, if you disturb people with chanting, you can close the door for them to God. So I don't know. Okay. It's a place of, this place, you know, is like, God, it's no words coming. What? Okay, I'm gonna read a bit more. I don't even know where I was. Was I up here? Okay, just a little bit. Although Nimai was only in his early boyhood, he had a mischievous nature and continuously started quarrels with other students. Andromeda, you can't close the door in someone's face when it's required to be around them in the moment. Yeah. To kind of transcend the quarrels of like if I get pulled into my parents' energy, to transcend that, it's the best thing that will do that. That's it. I need reminders. I need things repeated again and again all the time. So, thank you. One student might say, what intelligence does your teacher have? Another, because they're what they do is they've been there's a lot of, in Navadvip there's a lot of scholars with a lot of students, and they challenge each other. Another would say, look whose student I am. In this way, they would begin by being a little abusive to each other. Then they would splash water in at each other and end up throwing sand. Fights would break out, and boys would beat whomever they would catch. One might throw mud on the other, jump on him, and beat him as well. Very sharp, Andromeda. The light and love of Radha and Krishna makes those demons flee. It's true. It's true. It's like when slugs have to flee when the sun's out. They have to get into shade and away from it, otherwise they will kill them. They will just dry them out and they will die. So when the demons are, when the light of Radha, the pure light of Radha and Krishna are around, they can't breathe. They will fade away and die. Slugs, yeah, look, little slugs. I can remember when sometimes they're in the middle of the driveway and the sun was coming out. I'd pick them up and put them in the shade. Otherwise, they'd die stiff as a board. This is quite funny, actually. In this way, they would begin to be a little abusive towards each other. Then they would splash water on each other and end up throwing sand. Fights would break out, and boys would beat whomever they could catch. One might throw mud on the other, jump on him, and beat him as well. After falsely swearing authority in the name of the king, some boys would catch other boys, and after beating them soundly, swim swim to safety on the other side of the Ganga. The water of the Ganga became muddy by the wild wrestling and scuffling of the students. It's a bit like Greece. A bit like Greece. Neither could the women fill their water containers, nor the brahmanas and other respectable people take a bath, displaying his extremely restless nature. Vishwambarai went from one bathing ghat to another, finding each place an audience of students, an arena in which to debate and dispute. At one ghat, he played the stick game with friends. The advanced students band together and challenged. Why do you always quarrel with everyone? Sounds a bit like me, actually. Why do you always quarrel with everyone? Let us see how intelligent you are. Let us hear you give the purport to the explanation of the astrological treatise in the Almanac. Almanac. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Nimai said, "That is very good indeed. I accept your challenge. Whoever wants may question me." One irritated student said, "Why are you so conceited?" However, Nimai replied, "You may question me as you like." The student said, "Explain the laws of verbal roots." Nimai replied, "I shall explain them, but you must listen attentively." Nimai, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was the source of all potencies. Naturally, his explanations of grammatical. Is it grammatical? Is that how you say it? Grammatical. Is it grammatical? Rules. Well, anyway, grammar. Were completely authorized. Holy Mother, River Yamuna, Savior of slugs. Yeah. To challenge students. The challenging students praised Nimai for his explanation. Then Nimai said, "However, hear me now, refute my own arguments." Nimai picked out the discrepancies in his own explanation and said, "Who amongst you has the power to establish any point over and above my arguments?" The student, oh gosh, Maharaj is a bit like that. Nobody could refute him, win his arguments. The students were amazed by Nimai's original arguments as well as the arguments he used to defeat himself. So no one dared say anything. "All right," he said, "I shall have to establish now the new arguments which defeat the other two." Sri Gaurachandra gave his new explanation that was so beautiful and poetic as the first two. So they're all poetic and beautiful. The students were all truly impressed and embraced Nimai sincerely. You know, I've been finding it really difficult to embrace people who I know I don't trust, and I know they're not telling the truth. And you know, when they relax around me and when they're more relaxed and I feel that they're being truthful and genuine to where they are, I want to hug them so much. Just hug them. It was so nice. The student said, "Go home today, but come back." The student said, "Go home today, but come back tomorrow." and we shall have fresh questions for you. Playing the part of a student enwrapped in learning, Namai, the Lord of Vaikuntha, frolicked in the water of Genevieve, Ganga. Nima's erudition was so profound that in the presence of the other students of Navadvip, he looked like Braspati. He looked like Braspati himself, surrounded by his disciples. While performing their daily water sports, Nimai and his friends occasionally swam across the river to the far bank. Since the time that Lord Krishna had sported in the Yamuna River, Ganga Devi had nursed an intense desire to have the same good fortune. Although great personalities such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva worshipped the Ganga by poetic prayers, she nevertheless aspired to achieve the elevated position of the Yamuna. The Supreme Lord Gaurasundra was the desire tree that mercifully fulfilled the longing of the Genevieve, the Ganga. After a day of sports and fun, Sri Gaurasundra returned home, worshipped by Vishnu in the prescribed manner, offered water to the Tulsi tree, and sat down to eat. Immediately after his meal, Nimai would take his books and search for a quiet place to study. In that lonely place, the gem of all lords absorbed himself in study, making, I don't know what this word says actually, annotations on different aphorisms. We could look it up. It's not that important. I think it's notes, I think. I'm going to finish now. I was reading, it hasn't actually said anything about Nimai Shimishra returning yet to the spiritual world, but I'm sure it probably will. So we were just talking about how Nimai is God, and he knows everything really, and well, not really, he knows everything. And there's so many scholars in Navadvip, and they all have loads of students, and they all kind of quarrel and fight with each other. But Nimai every time wins every single one, and he wins himself. He refutes himself again and again, and he's the magnanimous Lord, even though he's a little child. And yeah, he gets blasphemed, he gets ridiculed because he's a young little boy, and he kind of knows, he knows everything. And all the older children, they ridicule him. We know more because we're studied in our head. We've been studying longer. You're just a little child, and we've been studying. Yeah, they might have more experiences because they're actually, I won't say that, because Nimai is God. With our age, we have more experiences than others. But. And his students, Nimai's students that stay around him, they're with him a lot, and they're getting to know him. They're so attracted to him because he's so, what's the right word? Well, he's rascal, and he's cheeky, and he's he does all sorts of things, and he likes to quarrel a lot and fight. Well, he is a little boy, and it's okay. And that's what boys kind of tend to do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You can see within this when it talks about Vaidhi, it was talking about Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and how some of these devotees they worship Vishnu. Vishnu is the Lord of the material world. The original Lord is Krishna, and they're worshiping him, and that's not conclusive. So you can see that these boys are stuck. They're stuck in. They're in their heads. They're stuck in their heads. They're not coming from their heart where they're performing devotional service because they're own gurus. They're in their heads. They're scholars. And they're not performing pure devotional service to the Lord because they don't have the Lord, and they don't have a guru who has the Lord. Like we have Maharaj, who is extremely advanced and is able to wow. It's like mom and dad. The way our dad is. Our dads are usually much more. They're much more funnier, and they're much more, in a way, softer, and they're much more harder, and they'll tell you the truth, and they'll be a bit more hard on you. Where a mother would be usually has much more mercy and compassion than the father. It's usually like that. I'm not saying it's like that all the time. Maharaj, and for me, Maharaj and Lalita are like that, because Lalita gives me this really huge, deep, full mercy and this compassion that gets me through stuff, that can bring me back to center. Maharaj can throw me off center, but he can put me back on center by throwing me off, extinguishing an attachment or whatever it may be. Then it seems to be more intense with Maharaj, and with that energy. It's like, yeah. But they both have both of them, actually. They both have both of the energies of Radha and Krishna. And yeah, Maharaj is like, yeah. And they change as well. I've realized that. Simi's saying jumping from the head into the heart to come back with the treasure of love. That's it. I've realized that I've been around these people, these doctors and these nurses, being around that. I've been getting sucked into what they want me to do. Yes, I know I have to take certain medication, and I have to embrace that. And that's fine in a clear space, and not being in madness of the false ego. You can, in the drama, you can face it more. But yeah, and coming here, Lolita does that to me. She brings me back into my heart. So the words that you guys use, you bring me back into my heart, away from the mind, which is, what we need to always return to. I'm gonna go have flipping acid reflux. So it's just coming up my throat. Thank you very much. Tarun, hey Nimai. To become mind controlled is the highest independent mercy and ecstasy. It is. And as we surrendered, as we have surrendered fully to Krishna, we can do that. We really can. All these practices that we do for mind, to control the mind, without the bona fide, honestly, in my, without having the link to the parampara, the live wire, without being shouted by all of us, with Maharaj, we can naturally transcend the mind. Forget controlling the mind. Maybe we do to an extent, but we transcend it. It's going to say things. We're hearing this potency in this world. It's going to say loads of illusionary things, and we have to realize, once we are in that platform where we know illusion from who we really are, to our stability and our grounding and our life force, our life force, which gives us motivation and enthusiasm and gives us the strength to get through things. It's like one's parent is holding them in order for them to get through something, to grow. A little thing, a parent watching a child walking to school because They need to see that their child is capable of walking to school and they're going to be really safe on their own. And the parent is there watching them, but the child can't see. And it's like that in purification. It can be a little bit intense doing something new for the first time, going through these really deep purifications. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but what can I say? I'm sorry, I'm not. And Krishna holds us while we go through them, because he wouldn't be able to go through them if he wasn't holding us in the first place. And we can transcend our troublesome mind. It can be very torturesome, especially if we're once again associating with that environment, in that environment. And I could see what was happening to me. Mind can be observed and witnessed, then it loses its momentum. I wish it's true what you say. Nimai, it's true what you say. But once we have connection with the bona fide spiritual master, once we Guru Tattva, once we have that, we get everything from that connection, from the parampara, Krishna himself coming to us, and we get the real deep understanding through the Lord. To be able to do that is to be able to watch them. I watch what I do. I watch what I do. I watch my behavior. And it is breaking them down. But it's because I'm connected to Srila Gaura Haridas that I'm able to realize those, what word did you use? Realize how the mind works and what it does, and its little hooks that it has. It connects into people. How the false ego wants to use other people to get some sentimental kind of sympathy. Sometimes it is needed. And we need to be able to understand the mind, like I'm being able to do that right now, and learning quite a few things is only because of me being connected, having a relationship, a deeper relationship, and being bound actually to Srila Gaura Haridas in this movement, in this real true movement, to help all of us, because we have been broken down and we have been built up, and we have just we are living lives, and I find it difficult to embrace sometimes. We're living lives of experimentation and learning to be listening to Maharaj, listening to the devotees, the ones I have an more so intimate relationship with, gets me through, helps me realize deeper observations in what the mind is doing, hearing somebody else's experience and how they deal with it and what is actually happening, because I may have an understanding, and then there is a deeper realization that can actually get us out of those activities of the mind and them losing their hold on us. Truni saying, but it must be continual, and you kind of got to observe it, meaning want it enough, but it must be continual, and you kind of got to observe it, meaning want it enough. Oh, do you mean to let it go enough? You want to let it go. I'm not sure if you mean this, but you want to let it go. You really want to let it go enough. It's really strange, if this is what you mean, Nimai. I so want to let all of these. We know there's so many things that causes troubles and cause other people disturbances because of the way we are. We need to let go of these things, and as we are starting to realize them, as we are starting to name them. Sometimes I can name them, sometimes I can't. And you know what? Even in other places where it may be a new age thing or something, they go name them, name these demons, name them, give them a name, focus on them and see them for what they are. And yes, like you said, Nimai, they lose their power. They really lose their power. That is a hard way with connected to the bona fide spiritual master, the real bona fide spiritual guide who can give us and hold us while we are becoming these transcendental warriors. For Krishna's, Lord Chaitanya's Prema Sankirtan movement for here and now. And Yamuna is a naughty girl because she acts out. Hopefully she's gonna act out less now. Nimai is saying, like that burning house, I should get out, not try to save myself, esteem or possessions in that house. Yeah, let them all burn. They've been there for too long, taking space. Yeah, just let them extinguish. It works. Thank you very much. This is such a lovely place. And yeah, thank you to burning down the house. Let's see, I don't know what you were talking heads. Burn down the house and rebuild the temple, or allow the treasure house to appear, because it's endless, abundant. There's no scarcity. Sim is saying this was a special lecture. Thank you for the nice insights. You're welcome. Thank you to Andromeda and Sim. It's nice that you're here, Tarun. I don't know if I've missed the chanting. When one have been associating with that energy, the false energy. God, if I didn't do classes in the hospital, and they are Andromeda. And Mahesh was here from Japan. Thank you. I know all of us are going through these things. Yeah, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, glories to Shila Gaura. Bye bye. Hare Krishna. If I missed everybody, sorry. I'll have a look later.